What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, Prison POV. Shout out to the joiners, shout out to the Point of View crew, and trip on this. Funny how things come full circle, isn't it? Because when I started this channel 3 years ago, it was called Methadone Detox. Because I was going through a methadone detox. Well, here I am again, same dealio, homeboy. So make sure you do not miss my lives as you see how I navigate and try to figure all this hectic stuff out. I'm detoxing yet again. But you probably know that, and if you don't, this is not the time to explain it. Right now it's time to explain me getting clipped for $2,000 from this Crip. Now, dude, I hate this story, bro. I mean, most times when I go to make a video, I have to think real hard, like, okay, did I tell this story before? Sometimes I even reach out to people. And I'll say, hey, have you heard me tell this story or this one? Because I don't want to come on here and just rehash it. And it's hard to just remember everything from 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So, but I know I've never told this story before because I can't stand it. Why? Because I got clipped for $2,000. But I love the story format. It says one of those ones I'm going to start here and end here. One of them long, flowing stories. It's that kind of how I want to finish out the rest of the month. If you heard me in a live this morning, I'm going to do a lot of videos to round out the rest of the month. And they're going to be the start here and stop here kind. Not like 3 or 4 little short stories per the video. Just one long, little flowing stories. Here we go. Let's get our flow on because trip on this. Now, I'd said before that I have to back up a little bit. I'd said before that I was on the streets. I was being chased by the BFAT unit, Bakersfield Felony Apprehension Team. I was absconding on parole. I'd been involved in a couple stabbings. They just were sick of my shit. They were just hunting me down and chasing me down, which dried up all my spots. No one wanted me to come by their house. I had no more connect. I just couldn't go anywhere. I was between a rock and a hard place. And that's when I happened to just randomly stumble upon, of all things, a parole officer. The parole officer had this thing called the parole office had this thing called the STAR program. The STAR program, where if you tested dirty, you'd have to go to the STAR program. They would do all this jump. The dude who ran the STAR program was this parole officer, but he was a drug specialist named Jim. And since he was a drug specialist, he got curious about how drugs worked and affected the bodies, because he was only book smart concerning drugs. He had no idea how they really affected you because he never did them. He got curious. That's when he bumped into me, and I'm bobbing and weaving. The BFAT team had nowhere to go, and it's like, whoa, I know what. The parole office will never catch me at this parole officer's house. What a beautiful idea. Bro, I ended up moving in with the dude. House got raided. That's not what the story's about. But I go to jail. After the parole raids the parole officer's house, they snatch me up for absconding and some other charges and paraphernalia and whatnots, and they send me to Soledad, Toro Dorm. I'm doing 10 with half. I end up catching a assault with a weapon. I smash on some dude named Hoodwood from Taft with a sock and a lock, and I go to the hole. Now, when I'm in the hole, and I sit in the hole for 6, 7, 8 months, I don't know, and I turn my 10 with half violation into a 10 flat. So as I'm sitting in the hole, though, and I'm starting to get out, and I get about 60 days of the pad, I'm in a single-man cell that kind of can work on your mind, I start thinking, where am I going to go when I get out? I was really starting to stress out. Where am I going to go? I can't move in with the STAR program teacher, Jim, no more. He got his house raided, lost his job, lost a house. He's in L.A. working on the family farm. I don't really know where I can go. I don't know where my mom's at, or if I can even move in with her. I have no car out there. I have no money. The parole officer dude said he'd save my clothes for me. At least I had some clothes to put on my back, homeboy. But I was stressing, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? And that's when a cop came up to my cell and he's like, Burton, legal mail. I knew exactly what was up then, dude. He came and said legal mail, and I knew what was happening. Because my father, rest in peace, had passed away several years prior to this from mesothelioma, asbestos cancer, and I would get random settlements. So I got my letter, my legal mail. I got it. Sure enough, this was from my asbestos lawyers. I opened it up. Boom. I got 10 grand coming. I remember jumping up and down. I remember being so happy because I went from straight up a desolate mindset. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? To like, no, now I got 10 grand. Shoo! Homeboy, $10,000 settlement. It's not going to land for like 90 days though. I got 90 days left to the house. Abouts. So I remember what I did, though. I contacted my lawyers and I said, look, by the time this check comes, I'm going to be on the streets. So don't send that check to me here in prison in Soledad. Send it to an address I give you in Pismo Beach. Because I've been riding my homeboy Adamant. And we'd already made plans and stuff. And I'd say, hey, dude, I'm going to go ahead and have this check sent to your pad. And then when you get it, you just bring it to me or I'll come get it or whatever. Because remember, I didn't know where I was going to be on the streets. I had no address. And I couldn't risk the lawyers sending that check into the prison and missing me. And I didn't know where to tell them. I was like, look, send it to Pismo, to the homeboy Adamant. So I get out, bro. 9 days later, I get kicked out on the streets. Check is still not ready yet. Lo and behold, about a week after I get out, homeboy Adamant, Pismo, calls me up. Bro, your check got here. Hope you don't mind. I opened it up because I almost couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew you weren't lying, but dude, you're right. A $10,000 check. Damn. Now, me and Adamant got in I wouldn't say a fight, but he didn't talk to me for several years after this. He brings me down this $10,000 check. Drives all the way from Pismo Beach. What is that? 2-3 hour drive. I don't know, 2 hour drive. 2.5 hour drive from Pismo to Bakersfield to bring me my 10 grand. All he asked was, hey, Splinter, me and the lady are on methadone, and we can't pay our monthly bill. Can you give me $700 out of your 10 grand to help us out and pay our methadone bill? I said, yeah, no problem, homeboy. No problem. I got you. Bring me my $10,000 check, dude. We'll go cash it. I'll give you $700. You can take $700 home to Pismo Beach, to San Luis Obispo, homeboy, and pay your methadone bill. No problem. We drove all over trying to cash a check. I couldn't cash it anywhere. We went everywhere. And I didn't have an ID. I'm fresh out of prison. I'm all tacked back. My neck was down back then. And I'm going around. And this is back in 2007 when they had a lot of identity theft and they didn't really know how to solve it. Or they didn't really know how to stop it. Like they do now, there's identity theft, but now they kind of know how to combat it. Back then, it was a little bit more wild, wasn't it? As far as identity theft and stuff. And they were not about to cash no check for me. No siree, Bob. They ended up cashing it, the same place we tried that night. It was the type no ID, but they take 10%. So since it was a $10,000 check, I was going to have to give them $1,000 to cash it, homie. And even they said no. So I told Adam, man, sorry, homeboy, no one's going to cash it. And he was pissed off. He had to drive all the way back to San Luis Obispo, to Pismo Beach, where, I don't know, that's the same place, 2 different places. I'm giving 2 different names. I don't know what the is, homeboy. He went back there. He drove south. He went to the beach. And, dog, he didn't get his $700. And he was pissed off. My bad, Adam, man. Because, hey, not my... Anyways, I end up cashing the check the next day, though, dog. And I had to give him $1,000 because I went to the place, cash it, no ID. Had to give him $1,000. So now I'm at my mom's house, though. I ended up getting out. I probably didn't fail to mention that. Adamant gave me a ride home. It's a whole other story. I took a bus to Bakersfield, but it stopped over in Pismo, and I was like, whoa, I called Adamant, and he came and picked me up and took me to my mom's house, helped me find my mom, ended up moving in with her, saying, Mom, I got 10 grand coming on the way. No problem, son, move in. So I moved in, everything was honky-dory. Ended up cashing my check, everything's are chill. Now, my mom works at Home Depot, my sister goes to school, so I start having homies come over. And this chick named, I don't know if I can say her name, this chick who I kind of liked. She was coming over a lot with some other homeboys and shit, and we were getting high. Now, I don't know why I did this. It's kind of a scantless move. At the time, I wasn't trying to be scantless, but I went in my sister's closet, and I took a shirt to give this girl who I liked, who had been coming over and hanging out with me. I don't know if she spilled something on her shirt. She needed a shirt, same size as my sister. I didn't know the shirt I took out of my sister's closet was brand new, bro. So and she was going to notice. So I took the shirt, gave it to this girl. My mom and sister come home. They notice the shirt. They're mad about it. Won't let me come back to the house. They're pissed off. And it's just a big deal, bro. I'm kicked out. They're pissed off. Why'd you take the shirt? I'm like, my bad. I'll buy another shirt. No, that's not the point. So they're mad about it. So now, I'm over here living at homeboy's aunt's house, which is a total trap house. I didn't mind when I was staying at my mom's house, and I would go there on the weekend to party. I would take, $400 or $500, and we all got high, we'd party. But I didn't mind that. But living there, though, I don't really like living in the trap house, bro. I was really starting to burn through my money. But now I can't forget to add this really important part. When I was still at my mom's house, and I wanted to go hang out at the trap house one day, I called a cab. I called a taxi. And this dude shows up. Driving a taxi. No, he's not even driving a taxi. This dude shows up in a Mercedes. A brand new Mercedes with probably a $3,000-$4,000 stereo system in there. Boom, boom, boom. And he gets out all brand new clothes. Homeboy has 2 or 3 big old gold chains, diamonds in his ears, probably like a $3,000 Rolex on, $4,000 or $5,000 watch on, homeboy. And he's just decked out, dog. This dude just exudes money and wealth. He's like, hey, you call a cab? I'm like, yeah. He's like, hey, this is my personal vehicle. I own the cab company. My drivers are off. I got the call. I could run you real quick, unless you want me to have one of my drivers come in the cab, or if you want me maybe to drop off my car, I can come back in a cab. I was like, no, I'm not tripping, whatever, man. So he took me in the Mercedes, brand new Mercedes, bumping with his expensive stereo system, and he drove me over to the trap house, bro. And then later on, if I wanted to ride, I would call him, because I had his number. And I'd say, hey, come pick me up, man. I need to go here, here, here. And he'd usually come, once or twice, he did come in a cab. But most of the time, he came in a Mercedes, bro. And and when he was driving, he'd be like, I own that business, I own that mechanic shop, I own that motel. He's pouring out all the stuff that he owned. And he said he owned the cab company, and I just thought it was some wealthy-ass dude, some black dude. And he was gangbang, though. He told me he was a Crip, he was gangbanged, he was dressed like a gangbanger, a rich one, though. Fool, like he had a gang of freaking money, bro. So anyway, I'm over at the trap house with my $10,000, and I'm just spending, dude. Spending right and left, trying to support everyone's little habit, which isn't so little. And then I gave my last $2,000 to my homeboy's mom. I was like, hold this. So then I spent whatever else I had, and we got down to the $2,000, bro. And I was like, I'm broke now. After a month of living here, went through 10 grand, 8 grand, 7, whatever. All I have left is that $2,000 that homeboy's mom's holding for me. And I talked to homeboy. I was like, dude, what should we do, man? We're down to this $2,000. Should we go? I mean, should we just get it and continue to live off of it? You know, then it's going to be gone in probably a couple of weeks. I go, I want to get it and invest it, dude. How can we invest it? How can we take this $2 grand, take it, put it over here in something, and just flip it somehow? Flip that shit and mother fizzuck and invest it, homeboy. How can we do that? Didn't really have a way. Thought of a couple little ideas. We were going to buy some of this, and nothing was working out, man. But then I thought, I know I can call the rich dude. The guy who owns the cab company, that rich-ass Crip dude with all the gold chains and ice cubes in his ears and a Rollie and a brand new Mercedes thumping and homeboy, all that. Call that dude. He knows where to invest the money. He'll know how to flip this, wouldn't he? Surely he will. Surely. So, hey, I get that dude on the horn. Call him up. I'm like, hey, what's up, bro? Remember me? I called you for a ride. You took me here and here. He's like, yeah, Chris, what's up, man? I said, dude, I got $2,000. I want to invest it. Well, so how can we invest the $2,000? And he's like, oh, hang on, man. I'm going to get back to you. And then he came one time with some beer, some tall boys. He came pick me up. Came over this. Okay, I'm looking for him. I called him. And he went, after I said I want to invest $2,000, but I wasn't at the trap house. By now, I was at my homeboy's mom's house, who's holding my $2,000. So he went by the trap house, was honking the horn, like looking for me. Because I called and said, where can I invest this $2 grand? He's like, oh, I'll call you back. Call me back. I wasn't calling. He came looking, dude. Like, some dude's looking for you. He's in a Mercedes outside honking the horn stuff. So I call him up. What, you driving around looking for me? You pulling up in places you know I frequent, honking the horn? He's like, well, I mean, dude, you want to invest $2,000 or what? You kind of got me, like, curious now. What's up? I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, relax, though. Trip out. You kind of scared me a little bit. I got to tell you what, just come through. So he came through and brought some beers. And he said, look, we won't even discuss it today because he tripped me out. It came out too strong. We won't discuss it today, man. So let's drink a beer, bro. And he brought some chicks with them, and they're all trying to come on to me and shit. And we just drove around in a circle around this park, drinking a beer. He's like, I'll hit you up later. But yeah, if you want to invest, we can invest. I was like, all right. He made me feel real relaxed. He came on too strong earlier. So he kind of like chilled me out. Boom. A couple days later, man. So I'm starting to dip in that $2 grand now. I don't want to say, well, I have $1,500. So I call him up. What's up? What can we do? And he can't pick me up again. Give me that $2 grand. I'll go spend it on some Coca-Cola. I'll do what we do with it. Bake it and flip it. Bake it and chop it. I'll hand it out to this person, this person, this person. This guy will go on the street, on this corner, he'll push it this way. I'll give some to this guy, he'll drive around and he'll drop it off this way. This guy will have it. Your money, you'll have several people working on your product, making money for you. You'll have 4 or 5 different revenue streams just off this. He sold it to me, made it sound real good, bro. I even went with him. I had the $2,000, I gave it to him. We drove straight to this hood, to the freaking Paisa part of town, homeboy, Brown Street. Went over there. He came out. What he said was a pound of Coca-Cola, dog. And we're going to flip it and do this and that, this and that. And then he drops me up. I don't even hear from him for a week. And he's not answering my phone calls. I'm starting to get freaking tripped out. And I'm realizing I don't even know where he lives, bro. So then I'm calling, he comes picks me up, and he gives me like $300. I'm like, $300? He's like, just kick back, dude. It's slow. I don't want to do, because I was doing what he did to me. I was starting to frank at spots where he knew. I was starting to frank with spots that I kind of knew and pull him, honk the horn, and kind of look it. Because when he ran in here one day, then he drove me, but he said he had to stop and go in here. So now I'm driving around looking for him. And he calls me, whoa, driving around looking for me. I said, yeah, dude. What about the 2000? I'll come by. And he comes over and gives me $300. He says, relax, man. I said, I don't even know where you live. And he goes and takes me to a motel. And I said, a seedy motel on Panama Avenue, the Beacon. I go, dude, there's no way you live in this motel, dude, when you own the taxi cab and you own the Mercedes and you own this company and this company, all this shit, bro. But you live in this seedy ass motel. He's like, well, I'm going through a divorce. My wife's trying to take all my money. I'm trying to hide everything. I'm on the down low. I got people looking for me. They'll never look here. This is where I live. I even went inside. We didn't just pull up in the parking lot and he goes, I live there. I go, I want to go inside, dude. I went inside. He had a whole bunch of clothes there. He showed me his clothes, showed me his shoes, some of his personal property. I was like, all right, man, I guess you live here. So then he made me feel comfortable and he got me some more beer. I'm drinking beer and he's like, don't worry, man. He's like, I'll tell you what, dude, once a week I'll come by and I'll drop off $500 a week to you for the next, 90 days. So you're going to double your money that way. I'll just get, you're going to double, triple it. I'll give you $500 a week. He goes, just relax. It takes a little bit. He goes, you're not the only one making money off it. Everyone has to make money. You started it off, though. You have a nice investment. He sold it to me, man. He sold me the dream. I'm drinking beer going, okay, cool, man, cool. Then you get out here from him again. Not a week. Not 2 weeks. Going on the third week, I'm like tripping out. No one wants to take me to look for this guy and go to his room because they know how hot I am. They know I'm pissed off. They know I'm probably going to kick the door into that room. They don't want to drive me around to do anything, to look for this guy. So finally, I come across a guy who has a semi. A semi, bro. But no trailer, but just like the semi big diesel truck. And he's dating some chick that brings with a trap house, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I need to ride to the south side, to the Beacon Motel by Union in Panama. He's all right, let's go. And it's like, real slow, dog. 10 miles an hour, just turtling it, dog, going so slow all the way there. Finally, we get there. I'm knocking on the door, and I do kick it open. Boom, the motel. Door goes flying. None of us close there until they checked out. The dude in the diesel got mad and went to go try to drive off away from me. He's like, fuck, you get your own ride. And he starts driving off. Like 5 miles an hour. I'm just walking next to him like at a fast pace. Hey, dude, wait for me. You're not going to leave me here hanging, are you? Let me get a ride with you. And I just jump on this diesel as it's driving away because he's going so slow. And I monkey climb back in the passenger seat and say, what's up? The dude burned me, homeboy. You can have my back or you can have his back. Dude, no one saw you. No one saw your truck. You don't think anyone saw me? Driving away at 5 miles per hour. They all saw you, bro. They all saw you. So... But you know who I never saw? Know who we never saw? The dude. The dude who got me for the 2000. As it turned out, he didn't own the cab company because I went by there. I went by the construction company he said he owned. I went by the apartment complex. All the stuff this dude said he owned. Dude, the Mercedes wasn't his. The cell phone he was talking to me on quit being his. I would just blow it up constantly, bro. And I ended up finally getting someone else on the horn that said that dude was a scam artist. He goes, don't worry, he scammed me too. I guess he stole the cab. He stole the Mercedes. Stole some chains, probably stole some earrings from boy, I don't know, dude was a scammer. And when I went to the pen, the next 2-3 times after that, when it's still real fresh in my mind, I was real still pissed over it, I would tell the Woods, especially in county jail, hey man, if this black dude comes in here, this Crip dude who got me for $2,000, we're kicking off a riot. This dude straight up burned me. I'm not down to squash it. I'm down for one-on-one if you could arrange that. But other than that, it's going to be straight up riot, homeboy. It's going to be straight up melee. Because we're not having it, dog. We're not having it. Let's end with the joke. So this dude got married. This guy got married. And on the wedding night, he didn't make a move on his wife. And she's like tripping out. Like, is it me? Am I ugly? Finally, the next day, she's like, puts lingerie on, some perfume, and tries to sit by him and tries to look real sexy. He still don't make a move. So finally, she says, hey, what's wrong? I'm your wife. It's our wedding night. You're not making a move on me. Why are you not trying to advance? And why don't you want to try to, touch and cuddle and make love to me? He's like, because I know the secret. I know the secret about you guys. My mom told me. Ever since I was a little kid growing up, my mom told me the secret about you guys. She's like, secret? What secret? He's like, well, that thing down there between your legs, there's teeth in it. There's teeth. And and if I go down there and put my pee-pee in there, it's going to bite it off with that teeth that you have down there. You have teeth. She goes, there's no teeth down here. What are you talking about? She goes, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. She goes, look, I'll show you. Takes her pants off, kicks a leg up. She goes, look there's no teeth here. And he's looking, he goes, well, no wonder. Look at the conditions of those gums. Ha ha! I'm Cut String Butterfly. Peace!